Phil Goyette. The Leafs have Frank Mahovlich, George Armstrong, and Alan Stanley. Hello once again, everyone. I'm Joe Bowen, and welcome to another edition of Classic Games right here on Leafs TV. The Leafs are the two-time defending Stanley Cup champions, and they arrived in February of 1964 but have floundered thus far, trailing both Montreal and Chicago by 13 points in the standings of the six-team National Hockey League. Once again, the New York Rangers and the Boston Bruins are out of the playoff picture and are heading down the stretch as Punch Imlach has decided that his team is in need of a shakeup, and so it comes on this date, February 22nd, 1964. The protectors of the Pipe Pagodas tonight are two future Hall of Famers, Jacques Plante for the Broadway Blue Shirts and Johnny Bower for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Because it's February 22nd, 1964. Leafs and Rangers, and this is Molson Canadian Maple Leaf Classics on Leafs TV. Are led by three future Hall of Famers and Harry Howell on defense and Rod Gilbert and rookie Jean Rattel up front. The Maple Leafs have three 20-goal scorers in their lineup in Frank Mahovlich, Dave Keon, and George Armstrong. Andy Bathgate, a Winnipeg native who came east to star with the Guelph Biltmores, won the Memorial Cup in 1952. Bathgate starred for the New York Rangers for 12 seasons, leading the league in scoring in the 1961-62 campaign. He won the Hart Trophy as the league's most valuable player in 1959 before becoming a Leaf in a huge trade in February of 64. In 1,069 games, Bathgate scored 349 goals and totaled 973 points. At this point in the 1963-64 season, Bathgate leads the NHL with 43 assists and 59 points in 56 games, but as a New York Ranger. He's a member of the Hockey Hall of Fame, and he joins us here tonight to relive, a bittersweet moment, I guess, in the history of your career, Andy. Trades in that era were a difficult situation. You had come up through their organization. You had played with all of these fellas through junior hockey. You were a New York Ranger from almost, 14, 15 years of age?
Actually, from 9 years of age.
Did they give you a jersey?
Well, the team in Winnipeg where I was brought up was sponsored by the Winnipeg Rangers, who in turn were sponsored by the New York Rangers, and you couldn't switch allegiance. You had to stay in your neighborhood, and so I couldn't go to more qualified teams at that time, but it worked out well. I was on a C form at that time, and if you signed a C form, they'd give you $100, and it guaranteed that you would get $6,500 a year if you made the NHL.
Ooh.
So that looked like big money when you're in Winnipeg out in minus 40 degree weather. But
now the day of the trade, and it's one of the biggest trades in Maple Leaf hockey history. You and Don McKenney come to the Leafs. Bobby Nevin, Dickie Duff, Rod Sealing, Arnie Brown head to the New York Rangers. First off, did you have any inkling that it was coming, and how were you informed?
Well, I did. I was a captain of the Rangers, and during contract negotiations and trade that the Rangers wanted to make, I voiced my opinion, and Muzz Patrick told me I was getting too big for my britches. So,
what trade were you voicing your?
Well, Jean Rattel was going to be traded to Montreal Canadiens, and I just thought that they thought he wasn't aggressive enough, that he would be run over by some of the players in the league, and I just taking the face-offs and working against him, I noticed that he always got the puck away from me, and so I thought he had a lot of good qualities, and he was a nice person. And since I had been with the Rangers for the 12 years, they had traded away a lot of quality, good-sized players, and we had a very small team in New York, and we couldn't compete with the big boys. So when John Belleville wanted to play, nobody could stop him. He was just overpowering, and I thought we needed some quality players, and Muzz Patrick kept going the other way.
So when did Muzz inform you that your services were no longer required in New York?
I was having a steak with the boys to get prepared to play against the Leafs that night. The trainer come to the dining room and said, Muzz Patrick wants to see you. And I said, okay, I'll be there in a minute when I finish my steak. He said, no, right now. So I went and saw Muzz. He said, you've been traded to the Leafs. Go to be at the dressing room at 5:30 and whatever. And I don't really remember if he ever said good luck or whatever. I don't.
I just showed you a size 10 shoe and gave you a kick in the pants.
Well, I think he was happy to see me go, and that makes you a little more determined that you're going to try to be a success in the next team and try to work into it.
Now, a question, the trade is made prior to a game being played here, so the players from the Maple Leafs are going to be going to the Ranger Room, and you're going to be going, instead, getting your hockey equipment and going. Did you happen to cross paths at all as you were getting prepared for the game?
No, in that era, we never spoke to each other. We didn't play golf in the summer with each other. We avoided each other. And if you were caught talking on the ice to an opposition player in a friendly manner, lots of times there was some cheap talk, but
the trash talk was all right, but the friendliness wasn't.
That's right, and you would be fined $200. So you didn't associate at center ice or along the boards chatting. But at that time, I knew Bobby as a player and Dickie, who were more or less the name players that were in the trade, and I guess they had the same feeling as myself, a sort of an emptiness because they had been in the organization so long and such close friends. And for me to come in here, I knew I had to get the respect of the players by playing good, because we didn't know each other off the ice. And Eddie Shack had lived with me in New York, and I knew him, and so Eddie made it a little easier with his antics, and it worked out well. But I think Bob and the fellows who went to New York, they had a rude awakening, because it's a tough place to play, and you don't get the ice time that the players here in Toronto have access to.
Now, they give you sweater number 9. You wore number 9 in New York.
Right, and Dickie Duff had before, so when you walk in, I think the trainer makes the choice who gets the numbers, and I had been wearing number 9 for quite a while because it was sort of the in number at that time, and with Bobby Hull and the Rocket wearing it, and John Busick in Boston. So it's just sort of a tradition I wanted to keep if I could, and I was lucky enough to get it here.
All right. Well, what we're going to do tonight is show you 2 periods from the February 22nd game, in which, of course, the big trade is the big news. And then we're going to fast forward to a game in March, about 3 weeks from this point, to see a revisit of the New York Rangers and show you the 3rd period of that game as the Rangers come back to Maple Leaf Gardens. So we've got a couple of games for you from, the spring and winter of 1964, as the Maple Leafs and the New York Rangers are involved in one of the largest trades in National Hockey League history. You're watching Molson Canadian Maple Leaf Classics on Leafs TV.
On the face-off at center ice to start this first period, it's Stanley back to Horton. Horton up for Ron Stewart over the blue line. His pass was deflected. Emile Henry with it, number 21. Passing it out to center ice, Phil Goyette, number 20. To Rod Gilbert, stopped by Alan Stanley. Up to Ron Stewart. Over the blue line, offside, and a face-off. Face-off outside the Ranger blue line. Jim Tappan taking a long shot. Plon stopping it. Harry Howell, number 3, over to number 4, Ron Ingram. Up to Phil Goyette. Over the line, offside. Ready to go for the face-off, and it goes back to the blue line. Harry Howell took a long shot, and it's stopped by Bauer. Stanley with it to Horton, number 7. Ron Stewart at his own blue line, and he passed right into Goyette, gets it again. Over the Ranger line, was hit by Ingram and knocked down. Straight around to Henry, number 21 at the blue line. Gets away from Stewart, nearly fell. Poke check by Stanley. Ron Ingram to Harry Howell, number 3. Takes a long shot, and Bauer caught that. To Alan Stanley. Off the boards, but not out. Ingram shot 10 feet wide. George Armstrong in the corner. To Pulford. Back for Armstrong, and Rod Gilbert intercepts. Gilbert at the blue line. Up here to Goyette. shot it into the lead zone, and Dick Duff comes up for the first time as the New York Rangers. Don McKinney. A pass up to Armstrong. Over the line. There's the shot. He scores! George Armstrong caught the bottom right-hand corner from well out. And it's 1-0.
Lead scored by number 10, Armstrong. Assist, number 17, McKinney. Time, 1:40.
1:40, George Armstrong from Don McKinney. And it's 1-0 for the Maple Leafs. For the New York Rangers, Ingerfield, Nevin, and Duff. McKinney gets it back to Brewer. He shot it into the corner. Keon let it go. Armstrong lost it, and Dick Duff gets a hold of it. Up the center, Keon following him. Duff checked by Keon. Armstrong bumped into Ingerfield, and it's Hillman back to Brewer. Too far for Keon, and the shot right back into the Leaf zone. Brewer gets away from Ingerfield. A pass for Keon to Don McKinney. Back to Hillman. Up to Keon. Keon at center. Long shot. Nevin tried to bounce, and there's Armstrong. Shot it right in front of the net. And Jacques Plante saved that. Now coming up for the Maple Leafs, Kelly, Andy Bathgate, and Frank Mahovlich. For the Rangers, Donnie Marshall, Vic Hadfield, and Val Fontaine. From the face-off, Vic Hadfield down the left wing for the Rangers at center, a long shot. Bauer stopping it. Bauer to Stanley, who was checked. Mahovlich in the corner. Back to Stanley. Line on the boards for Bathgate. Flips it to Kelly. Kelly with Mahovlich, and Mahovlich just missed the pass. Kelly for Bathgate. Over here for Mahovlich. Passed it right in front. Kelly couldn't get it. Back for Hadfield. Shot it into the Leaf zone. It bounces right to Bauer. Stanley went down, and Kelly has it. Off the boards, Fontaine and Howell keep it in for the Rangers. Stanley to Mahovlich. Mahovlich down the left wing at center. Over the line, Kelly tried to follow through. Got it into the corner behind the net. Here's Bathgate with it. Centered it right in front. And the Leaf players couldn't get a hold of it. The Rangers bring it back. Fontaine to Hadfield. Hit by Stanley. Passing it in front for Fontaine, and he's checked. Frank Mahovlich down the ice to center. He's going right in alone. Pass it to Bathgate. He shoots. Oh, and stopped Bathgate. It goes out over the blue line. Horton over here to Stanley. Stanley over the line. Comes back out over the blue line, and Gilbert races after it. Closing in, a pass in front for Henry. She scores! Henry from Gilbert. And it's tied up. On the face-off, Jimmy Nielsen, number 15, behind the Ranger goal. To number 6, Don Johns. To Camille Henry, who shot it out to Goyette. Checked by Stewart, who shot it over the line, outside.
Rangers goal scored by number 21, Henry. Assist, number 7, Gilbert. Time, 4:13.
Face-off at center ice. Henry flicking it off the glass, back to the Leafs defense. Hillman over to Brewer. Brewer up to Pappen. Pappen bumps it into the Ranger zone. Jimmy Nielsen with it. Gets away from Pappen, clearing it out to Gilbert. Gilbert over the blue line. And he brought it in and out twice, and finally it's called on the delay. Goyette facing off with Pulford, who got the draw, and the Rangers cleared into the Leaf zone along high one that Bauer stopped. Brewer over to Hillman, up to Pulford. Pulford up at center, took a long shot off the boards. It bounced in front, came back to the blue line. Hillman let his shot go. Pappen after it. Don Johns covers up for New York. Clearing pass for Rod Gilbert and Goyette to Henry. Over the blue line, his pass is high. Goyette waiting. Pappen stepped into him. Jimmy Pappen with it, number 18. At center, he's checked. Pappen back to Hillman. Over to Carl Brewer. Brewer to Pappen. Off the boards and into the Ranger zone. Nielsen watched by Pulford. Stewart trying to center it. Here's Pulford with it. And he hit Gilbert. Pulford gets it again. Centered it back to Hillman. Over to Carl Brewer. Brewer shot it off the board. Pulford right in front of Pappen, and he couldn't get a shot. Goyette down the ice. Over the blue line. Drop pass to Gilbert right in front of the net, and Brewer breaks it up. To Pappen. Too far. Bob Pulford. Long shot. Not catching it. Handing it right to Armstrong, who centered it back for McKinney. It bounces loose over the blue line. Bob Nevin. Bumped by Stanley. There's going to be a penalty here for elbowing. Cleared into the Leaf zone. Eon touches it, and Stanley gets the elbowing penalty. Toronto Maple Leafs playing a man short. 6 men to 5. Ingerfield, Duff, and Nevin for the New York Rangers, with number 2, Mike McMahon, and Harry Howell. McMahon to Howell, number 3. Up over his own blue line to center. A long shot. Bauer knocking it out to the side. Armstrong clearing it, but not out. Mike McMahon took his shot, and that's wide. Back to Harry Howell. Howell into Ingerfield. Right in front to Duff. His shot, and Douglas fell in front of it. It goes back to the blue line. Howell wrapping it around behind the net. Douglas wrapped it along the boards, but not out. Mike McMahon to Duff. Duff took his shot. Douglas covered up, and there's no further play. New York Rangers now sending out Emile Henry, Phil Goyette, and Rod Gilbert, Mike McMahon, and Harry Howell. Toronto Maple Leafs have Pulford, Stewart, Brewer, and Hillman. On the face-off, McMahon shot. Bauer stopped that. Gilbert took a drive, and that's wide. Ron Stewart down the right wing at center. Over the Ranger line. Waiting. Back to Pulford. Pulford shoots it right on, and Pond stopped that. Rod Gilbert trying to get away from Pulford. Passing it back to Howell. Howell moves up. Long shot wide. Here's Goyette carrying it right in front, and Bauer stopped that. Here's another shot, and that's wide. Brewer shot it off the glass and down the ice. Mike McMahon back for it, number 2. To Goyette, number 20. 30 seconds left on the penalty to Stanley. Shot it into the lead zone. Bauer catching it to Pulford. Pulford shot it, but not out. Mike McMahon moves up. His shot hit Brewer. He gets another try. Scores! Henry deflected that one, and it's 2-1 Rangers. On the face-off, Bathgate shoots the puck into the Ranger zone and came right in front of the net. It's knocked off to the boards. Johnny Marshall, a pass to Hatfield. Takes his shot. Bauer caught that. Shot it into the corner. Stanley for Mahavlich, too far. Horton knocked it down, but it was a delayed whistle.
Rangers goal scored by number 21, Henry. Assist, number 2, McMahon. Time, 8:24.
Rangers in their own zone with Don Johns, number 6, a pass to Donnie Marshall. Shot it into the lead zone. Bauer has failed to scoop it off to the wing. Bathgate to Kelly. Kelly. Over to Stanley. Intercepted by Fontaine. Back for Hadfield and Marshall. Marshall getting set. There's the shot. Another shot. And that hit the post. Carrying pass for Bathgate, too far. Up at center. Now for the Rangers again over the line. And Frank Mahavlich clears it to Bathgate, who left it for Horton. Horton is checked. Donnie Marshall passing it. Knocked out at center. Fontaine to Marshall, and he shoots it in. Bauer scooping it to the corner. Bathgate giving a shove. Trying to bring it out. Too well covered. Ingerfield a pass. And Nielsen moves up. Horton stepped into him. Duff trying to center it. He did to Ingerfield, and that shot was intercepted by Horton. Horton and Kelly can't get out. Nevin, a pass for Ingerfield. Comes back to the blue line. Here's Johns' shot. Right in front of the net. Horton goes after it. Horton working his way out to center. Long shot off the board. Then Mahavlich let one go. Bathgate in the corner. Back to Horton. Shot it around behind the Ranger goal. Nielsen off the board. Kelly and Nevin after it. Cleared out to Ingerfield. Ingerfield down the ice. Takes his shot, and Bauer stopped that. Alan Stanley. Up to Dave Keon. Over the Ranger line. Here's Don McKinney with it. Missed the check. Gets his shot. It's right in front of the net. Play is called. There's a penalty here to the New York Rangers. And it goes to number 17, Bob Nevin. From the faceoff, out to Stanley, over to Horton. Horton shoots it into the New York Rangers zone. Stopped there by Jacques Plante. Jimmy Nielsen with it. Clearing it out to center. Tim Horton. Flipping it over here to Mahavlich, over the line. There's his shot, and that's wide. And that bounces into the crowd. Face-off is in the New York Rangers zone to the right. Back to Mahavlich. He's got the Shack. Shack fans on it. Lets it go on the second try and then hits Johns. Behind the net. Don Johns with it of the New York Rangers. Over to Henry. Hits Stanley and it's offside. On the face-off. Obler's failed to go through. Rod Gilbert back to Jimmy Nielsen. Up at center. Knocked it into the leaf zone. Gilbert goes after it. Takes Stanley to the boards. They hold it there for a face-off. New York Rangers send out Earl Ingerfield, Dick Duff on the left wing wearing number 9, and Bob Nevin number 17. Number 4 is Ron Ingram, and number 3, Harry Howell. Here comes Howell's shot. Bauer juggled it. Scooped over to Brewer. Brewer up to Papin. To Pulford. Pulford with Stewart. Stewart takes the pass. Takes the shot. Score! Ron Stewart into the bottom right-hand corner. And it's 2-2. Score is tied 2-2. Dick Duff. A long shot wide. Jim Papin. Over to Stewart. Up to Pulford. And away goes Pulford. Over the Ranger line. He's checked. Duff up at center. Over the Maple Leaf line.
Leafs goal scored
by Brewer.
Number 12, Stewart. Assist, number 20, Fulford, and 18, Papin. Time 14:27.
Now here's Ingerfield getting a chance. Getting right in front. Bauer stopped that. It's scooped out to the wing. Here's Ingram's shot, and that goes wide. Fontaine keeps it in for the Rangers. Here's a pass for Nevin. Right in front, and Brewer tips it off to Jim Papin, number 18. Up to Pulford. Pulford at center. Over the line to Papin. He's closing in. There's the shot, and he shot wide. Pulford back to Hillman. Hillman keeps it in. Off to Pulford. Pulford shot it. It deflected wide. Stewart hit the side of the net. Ingram taps it high, but not over the glass. Nevin bumps into Jimmy Papin. Pulford hit by Ingram. Finally called for a faceoff. Face-off is in the New York Rangers zone to the right. On the face-off, it goes to the far wing. New York Rangers bring it up. Donnie Marshall, long shot. Bauer caught it. John McKinney was back for it. Off the boards for George Armstrong. A long pass. It goes through. John Keon went to the corner. John skated him off and got a hold of it for a face-off. Dave Richardson now out on the forward line for the New York Rangers. Keon left to draw to Marshall. Marshall goes to the boards. Don McKinney trying to get it back. He goes down. Vic Canfield gets a hold of it. A long pass ahead to Richardson. Over the leaf line. He lost it there. Stanley gives it to Keon. Keon, McKinney, and Armstrong over the line together. Back to McKinney. McKinney took his shot, and that was grabbed by Plant. Vic Canfield. A pass nearly stopped by Stanley. Now then, Stanley shoots it back into the Ranger zone. Jimmy Nielsen back. Nielsen to Johns. A long pass at center. Richardson bumping into Horton from behind, and George Armstrong has it. To Keon and Horton, and they nearly got careless at their own defense. Horton comes up. Keon way outside. New York Rangers. A pass to Phil Goyette. Hit Carl Brewer. Brewer comes back with Bathgate over the line. Brewer in front, and he tried to pass to Kelly. Mahavlich moves up. Frank Mahavlich to Andy Bathgate. He let it roll in front, comes back to the blue line by Brewer and down the ice. Carl Brewer over to Larry Hillman. Up for Red Kelly. Red Kelly gets over the Ranger line, closing in, took his shot, knocked down by Plant. Goyette passing it to Henry. All out at center ice for Gilbert, and Brewer breaks it up, passing to an open wing. Ingram hit Kelly. Brewer bumps into Ingram. Now here's a chance for Mahavlich. Here's his shot. Oh, I got a piece of that. Bathgate shot it into the corner. Another shot right in front. And it comes back to Hillman. Hillman to Kelly. Kelly for Bathgate, and Howell breaks it up to Gilbert. Down the ice. Mahavlich got back. It's knocked out over the blue line on a delayed whistle. Rod Gilbert with it. A pass over here to Ingram. Ingram's shot is weak and wide. Hillman, number 22. To Brewer. Up for Mahavlich to Kelly. Too far. Brewer to Mahavlich. Shot it over the Ranger line. Ingram shoots it out. Fulford brought it in offside. On the face-off, Fingerfield stopped by Pulford and Stewart, who get it into the New York Ranger zone. Jimmy Nielsen behind the net. Over here on the wing to Don Johns. Up to Earl Ingerfield. Nevin on his right. Duff on the left. It's shot into the Leaf zone. Bauer poking it for Stewart. Ingerfield broke it up. Then Stanley ahead to Pulford. Up here to Pappen. Pappen closing in. Tried to center it. Too well covered. Less than a minute to go now in this first period. Duff getting it out over the blue line, and Tim Horton with it. To Stanley. Up to Pappen. He shot it into the Ranger zone. It's wide. Here's Pulford getting a hold of it, and he just failed to flick it over top of Jacques Plante. It was well out of the net. It's back to the blue line to center ice for Nielsen. Nielsen gets over, but Nevin was offside. Hello, Canada and hockey fans and the United States. Bill Hewitt here at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, and it's a 2-2 tie. New York Rangers 2, Toronto Maple Leafs 2, with 25 seconds remaining in the first period. Stanley gets it over to Horton in his own zone. A pass for Stewart, went to center. Now it's Horton with it. Horton over the red line, a long shot. Plante steering it into the corner. Ingerfield is checked. Pulford back to Horton. 6 seconds remaining. A pass to Pulford. He couldn't get a shot. Ingerfield breaks out. Duff trailing number 9 for the Rangers. And the bell goes as Bob Nevin was loose, number 17 of the Rangers on the right wing. Scoring plays in the first period. Armstrong from McKinney at 140. Henry from Gilbert at 413, his 26th of the year. For Armstrong, it was his 17th. Goyette also got an assist on the play. And Henry got his 27th from McMahon at 824, and then Ron Stewart got his 8th from Pulford and Pappen. Goyette number 20, Henry number 21, and Rod Gilbert number 7. Puck was shot into the crowd right from the face-off at center. The referee is Art Scove, number 4. The linesman are Neil Armstrong, number 8, and Bob Frampton, number 17. The sellout crowd, standing room only here at the Gardens tonight. Ronnie Ingram is number 4 on the defense for the New York Rangers, with Harry Howell number 3, Horton and Stanley for the Leafs, Johnny Bauer at one end and Jacques Plante at the other. Jim Pappen going down the far wing, a long pass for Pulford. He's cutting in on goal. There's Here's the shot, and Plant stopped that. Rod Gilbert. Behind the net. Passing it up for Henry, number 21. Henry up to center. At the blue line. Stopped by Stanley. Here's it over the line. A shot by Papin. Just went wide of the corner. Hofer with it. Back to Stanley. There's his shot. Right in front for Stewart. He scores! Ron Stewart scores for the Leafs. Toronto Maple Leafs 3, New York Rangers 2. For Ron Stewart, his second goal of the night and his 9th of the season.
Leafs goal scored by number 12, Stewart. Assist, number 26, Stanley. Number 20, Fulford. Time, 59 seconds.
A pass for Keon goes sliding down the ice. Going back forward is Bob Nevin. He touches it. Icing is the call against the Leafs. First place at stake at Montreal tonight, and Chicago leads the Montreal Canadiens 1-0 on Kenny Worham's goal from McKean and McDonald at 14:52. But apparently now the game has been delayed because of 15 penalties in the first period. Brewer back in his own zone, number 2, being watched by Earl Ingerfield. Carl Brewer with it. Over to Hillman. Pass for Keon, went between Johns and Nielsen. Keon after it. He keeps it in. A pass for McKinney. McKinney back for Armstrong. As he tried to get it back to Brewer, and Dick Duff comes down the ice. McKinney covered him. Keon let it go. Here's Johns carrying it to the blue line. Duff shot it over the line, and Hillman gets it. Hillman up for Armstrong. Here's the chance for Don McKinney, closing right in. He should score! Don McKinney went in there like a bullet and took that quick pass and fired it home. And Don McKinney scores his first goal as a Maple Leaf, number 17. McKinney gets goal number 10 this season. That was very quick. He went in there like a rocket.
Leafs goal scored by number 17, McKinney. Assist, number 10, Armstrong. 22, Hillman. Time, 2:06.
2:06, McKinney from Armstrong and Hillman. Now it's Kelly. A pass for Bathgate. Ingerfield broke it up. Bathgate tried to check Ingerfield, but Ingerfield comes down with Nevin and Duff. Passed it through. He's checked. It came to the blue line. Nelson kept it in. Duff of the Rangers. Hit Bathgate. Gets it again. Shot it over to the wing, and Mahavlich to Andy Bathgate, checked by Ingerfield. And Bathgate with it to Frank Mahavlich. Back to Horton. Up to Kelly. Shot it over on the right wing, intended for Bathgate, just let it go. Jimmy Nielsen off the boards to Hatfield. Hatfield coming to center. Takes a long shot. Bauer stopping it. Giving it to Andy Bathgate. Bathgate for Mahamalik. He's checked by Ingram. Ingram fakes his shot. Bumped by Mahamalik. Stanley with it. Up to Bathgate. Bathgate over the line. Back for Kelly, and he was taken out by Fontaine. Back comes Hatfield. For Marshall. Hit him on the back of the skate. Howell to Hatfield. To Ingram. Too far for Fontaine. Bathgate missed it. Stanley, watched by Hadfield. Gets it out to Mohammed. Over to Bathgate. Bathgate. Dumped by Howell. Fontaine shot it behind the net. Ingram with it. Watched by Kelly. Marshall, number 22. Up to Hadfield. At center for Fontaine. Skated off. Stanley shot it to an open wing. Hopeford comes out. Stanley pokes the puck to the wing. Donnie Marshall with it. Back to Ingram. Ingram takes his shot and hits Stanley. Stanley couldn't get it loose as Donnie Marshall picks it off to Henry. Henry back to Gilbert behind Marshall. Here it's centered right in front of the net. Back to Howell. His shot. Bauer's got it. And sits down. We have a face-off in the Maple Leaf zone to the right. 4-2 for the Toronto Maple Leafs over the New York Rangers. Stewart and McKinney scoring in this second period. Hillman to Carl Brewer. A long pass for Popford is tipped down the ice. It's going wide of the Ranger goal. Plot touches it, though. Johns, a pass for Goyette to Gilbert and went through his skate. Now it's Papin over the Ranger line. Takes his shot. Plot caught that. Gilbert with it, number 7. Trying to bring it out. A pass to Goyette. Goyette up the center with Gilbert and Henry. Shot it into the Leaf zone. Bauer out of the net. Shot it off the boards. Henry to Gilbert. Right to Goyette. And he shot it wide. Hooper to Jim Papin. He shot it over the Ranger line. It came out in front. And Henry got there quickly to cover up for the New York Rangers. To Goyette. Armstrong comes out. Hofberg skates Henry off. Hillman shoots it into the Ranger zone. Johns, number 6. A pass to Gilbert, stopped by Armstrong, who shot it over to Hillman. Hillman handed it right to Gilbert. Right back to Hillman. To Don McKinney. Don McKinney, a long pass for Armstrong. Back for McKinney, and he just failed to get loose. It's still in the Ranger zone. McKinney trying to pass. Johns breaks it up, comes down the ice for New York. Over the line, Hillman stopped him. He falls. It's at the blue line, out and in again. And we'll have a face-off, and this game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. Face-off is outside the blue line. Ingerfield with Duff and Nevin. Goes back to Howell. He shot it into the Leaf zone. Bauer let it go. Duff with a poke at him. Just missed the corner. Here's shot right in front for Duff. He shoots it right in front of the net. It's knocked high. Ingerfield to the whack area. Horton covers up. Horton. A pass ahead for Armstrong. Stopped by Howell. Howell shot it, and Bauer caught that and held it. And Jack.
Incidentally, Bill, Toronto goalkeepers seem to be the personal patsies of Henry. His 2 goals in the first period were his 8th and 9th against the Leafs in 11 games this year, which is pretty a good average.
It certainly is, Jack, and also his 26th and 27th,
That's
which
right.
is good in this league, that's for sure.
Good.
Well, the New York Rangers with Dick Duff came within an ace there of putting them right back in there. They trailed by 2. Dick Duff on the left wing and Nevin on the right. Don McKinney has scored for the Leafs. Gets the puck again. He's given a bump. Armstrong's pass for Keon, not by Ingram. Ingram turns, tries to go over the line and hit Stanley's knee. Bounces out. Duff takes a long shot. Bauer stopped that. George Armstrong with it. For Don McKinney too far. Cleared at the blue line. Here's Keon going in. Takes his shot right on. But stop that. Howell. Watched by Armstrong. Kenny after him. Richardson let it go by him. It's going right towards Bauer. Bauer had to stop it. Stanley back. To Horton. Up for Frank Mahovlich off the end of his stick. Now to Richardson. Bumped by Stanley. Cleared wide of the Leafs goal. Bauer had to kick it with a skate. Frank Mahovlich has it. To Armstrong. Stopped by Marshall. Horton trying to get it out over the blue line. Frank Mahovlich gets down the left wing. Over the line. Trying to cut in. There it's right in front. Mahovlich went into the net. Play is called.
I don't think Mahovlich is injured there. It just seems to be a little winded, maybe, with that.
Seemed to twist his neck a little bit, Jack.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Face-off is in the Ranger zone to the right. Certainly, he was taking his chances by trying to cut in front like that. And
yes, and he went in there and he was spinning around backwards when he hit.
on the face-off, Rod Gilbert. Number 7, behind the net. Long pass at center for Henry. Brewer breaks it up. Brewer moves down over the Ranger line. Flipped it through towards the boards. Kelly covers his check. Basket to Kelly, and he shot it wide. Mahovlich with it. He shot it behind the net to Basket. Right in front for Kelly. It scores! It went over the line. Kelly from Basket. And it's 5-2. Beautiful play by Andy Basket. It flipped that one out quickly. And Kelly wrapped it inside the goalpost. Time of that goal by Kelly, 8:41. We're at the 9:11 mark of the second period. On the face-off, Stewart let one go. Here's Pulford with it, trying to center it. Val Fontaine, number 14 of the Rangers, passing it out on the right wing. Meisner, number 12, stopped by Papin. Over here for Stewart. Stewart back to Horton. Horton takes a long shot. Plant grabbed that and gives it to Jimmy Nielsen, number 15. Up to center ice for Donnie Marshall. A long shot. Bauer out of the net. Flipped it off to the wing. Going into the net was Jimmy Papin. Ron Stewart races down the right wing. Over the Ranger line. Passing it for Pulford. Meisner beat him to it. Pass it out to Donnie Marshall, and Lee and Fontaine going down. Marshall takes his shot. Bauer stopped it. Papin knocked it off to the wing, and Pulford gets a hold of it. Pulford up with Horton and Papin over the line. Pulford into the corner. Tried to center it. Passing it back for Horton, and by doing so, he passed it down the ice. We passed the halfway mark of the second period and the game. 5-2 for the Maple Leafs. Don McKenney out there now with George Armstrong. A long shot. Bauer stopped that. Stanley goes back for the rebound. Clearing it around on the boards for Armstrong. Duff checked him. Ingerfield passing it back to the blue line, and it went by Howell down the ice, and Keon is coming out now to replace Pulford. Back up the ice for Dick Duff. Stand on it. Ingerfield. Stopped by Keon to McKenney. Back to Keon. Over the line. Back for Don McKenney. Left it there. Armstrong after it. Back to McKenney. McKenney tried to center it, and Armstrong didn't see it. Bob Nevin goes down the right wing. He's checked. Then Ingerfield follows up and shoots it into the Leaf zone. Armstrong. Off the boards for Horton too far. Harry Howell passing it to Nevin. Nevin shot it into the Leaf zone, and it's Tim Horton back. Up here for Armstrong to Keon. Keon shot it into the Ranger zone. Howell and Henry go back for it. Henry left it there. Armstrong and Keon tried to combine, but Goyette and Howell cover up. Phil Goyette with it to Nevin. Nevin just gets it out over the blue line. Carl Brewer shoots it right back in again. Henry's back there for it. 8 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in the second period. 5-2. Here's Bathgate stealing the puck for the Leafs. Took his shot right on, and that was stopped by Plante. Rangers fail to get out. Howell, number 3. To Ingram. Ingram having difficulty. Passed it to the blue line and out. Brewer shot it back. Bathgate checked by Camille Henry. Cleared up to center. Bathgate again for Mahavlich, and Brewer. Brewer takes a shot, and Plante not that. Here's Bathgate's drive right on. And Plante just got a piece of it. Here's right in front of Bathgate. He just couldn't get a drive. Kelly back for Bathgate again and goes to this side. Mahavlich after him. Back to Bathgate. They're all around the Ranger goal. Here's Bathgate still with it. Finally checked. Mahavlich to Bathgate. He takes a shot. Oh, Kelly failed to deflect it. It's cleared for Mahavlich. Ingram getting a hold of it. And they shoot it down the ice. And this game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. Up is in the New York Rangers zone to the right.
Well, that Mahavlich, Kelly, Bathgate line is probably the best offensive threat that the Leafs have had this year. They've been in on...
Right from the face-off, Mahavlich shot it, and Clark caught that one on a pass from the face-off by Andy Bathgate. Andy Bathgate wearing number 9 for the Maple Leafs. On the face-off, Hatfield trying to get it out. Mahavlich drapes him along the board. Kelly steals the puck. Back for Bathgate. Right in front, Kelly shot it, and Plante stopped that one from point-blank range. Back comes Donnie Marshall. Long shot into the Leaf zone. Meisner after it. He chops it to an open wing. Bathgate clearing it, but not out. Hatfield was hit by Mahavlich and went out to center. Back to the blue line. It's cleared right onto Hillman's stick. Hillman to Bathgate. Bathgate to Mahavlich. Mahavlich shoots it, and he shot wide. Here's another shot. Bathgate rolled it by the open corner. Here's Kelly with it to Bathgate. Back to the blue line, and Hatfield broke it up to Meisner. Over the line. Brewer hooked it away from him. Carl Brewer with it. Long pass for Jimmy Papin and Red Kelly. They're going down together. Over the line, Papin takes a shot. He hit Kelly from behind. And they hold it for a face-off. 9 minutes and 55 seconds remaining in the second period. Toronto Maple Leafs 5, New York Rangers 2. Face-off is in the New York Rangers zone to the left. Howell with it, number 3. Over to Mike McMahon, number 2, comes to center. Shot it into the Leaf zone. Duff races after it, number 9 for the New York Rangers. And it's Horton to Fulford. Fulford coming down the right wing. Falls. He's jumped. There's going to be a penalty here to Ingerfield for jumping Fulford. Ingerfield gets only the 3rd penalty of the game and the 2nd to the New York Rangers.
Rangers penalty, number 10, Ingerfield. 2 minutes for tripping. Time 14:28.
Final score this afternoon in Detroit was the Red Wings 3 and Boston 2. Gordie Howe scoring twice. 14:28 is the time of the tripping penalty. Fulford with Papin and Stewart, Bathgate and Douglas. Duff and Nevin to kill off the penalty. Duff clearing it to Howell. Howell. A pass to Nevin. Back to Dick Duff. Over the line. Duff still with it. Dragging the puck. Got it back to the Ranger defense, and Duff and Nevin, along with Ingram and Howell, killing off this penalty. Duff shoots it down the ice. And that wasted 40 seconds. Bathgate missed the check from Duff. Hooper down the line with Papin. A pass for in front, and it was intercepted by Nevin. Nevin comes back over the line. Douglas clearing it to the boards. To Hooper. Hooper coming up the center. Stopped by Marshall. Now Fontaine gets a hold of it. Don McKinney comes out. Dave Keon and George Armstrong. Shot back to the Leaf line, and it's Andy Bathgate after it, number 9 of the Maple Leafs. To Dave Keon. Keon straight up the ice at center with McKinney over the line. A pass for McKinney. McKinney gets it back to Douglas. Over here to Bathgate. Bathgate to Keon. Right in front for Armstrong, and he couldn't control it. Laid down the ice by Fontaine. Douglas to Keon. To Don McKinney. Over the line. Don McKinney closing in. Back to Bathgate. There's the shot, and it was wide. Keon with it. A pass to McKinney. Back to Douglas. There's his shot. Oh, and Keon deflected it wide. It's tapped up for Ingerfield. One man trying to get back. Douglas, Ingerfield shoots. He shot wide. Don McKinney tipped it for Keon, and it was shot back into the Leaf zone. There'll be a delay on it. Douglas will get it out. Long shot. Plant stopping it. To Fontaine. Checked by Armstrong. Armstrong trying to center it. Rod Gilbert to Ingram with 2 minutes and 56 seconds remaining in the second period. 5-2. Al Shack is out on the ice with Mahavlich and Stanley and Kelly. Cleared into the Leaf zone. Bauer tipping it over to Horton. Tim Horton. Up over his own blue line. A long pass for Mahavlich. Goes in behind the Ranger goal. Don Johns after it. He handed it right to Horton. Horton shot it right back to Henry. Henry was stopped by Shack. Then Nielsen gets away from Eddie Shack and comes to center. Shoots it over the line, goes after it. Horton went down. Nielsen went down. Mahavlich turned it over on the boards. Eddie Shack kicking it for Kelly. Henry broke it up to Goyette. Goyette bumped by Stanley. Gilbert watched by Kelly. Gets it over here to Nielsen. 2 minutes and 4 seconds remaining in the period. Nielsen gets by Shack. Horton steps into Nielsen. Goyette for Gilbert. Back for Goyette. Trying to center it out in front, and Eddie Shack gets a hold of it to Red Kelly. Up the center. Kelly up over the Ranger line with Mahavlich and Shack, and he shot it high, and it goes on a deflection over the glass. And we have 1 minute and 44 seconds remaining in the second period, and this game. Brewer to Jim Papin, and Don Johns jams against the boards with Papin on the outside. In the first period, the score was tied 2-2, and New York outshot the Leafs 17-12. In the second period, the Leafs have scored 3 goals without a return from the Rangers and lead by a score of 5-2. Shot wide of the Ranger goal to Jimmy Nielsen, who's standing there, number 15. Stopped by Brewer, but he couldn't control it. Clearing pass, Hillman deflecting it to Ron Stewart. Ron Stewart over the Ranger line, trying to flip it back for Brewer. Here's the pass to Don Johns, number 6. Up here at center, Hillman flicks it back. Jimmy Nielsen back for it, number 15. He's checked by Stewart. Bob Nevin. To Earl Ingerfield. at his own blue line to center. A long shot knocked down by Carl Brewer. Less than a minute to go in the second period. Brewer takes his shot, and Plant stopped that. Nielsen with a number 15. He stopped. Stewart getting a chance. There's the shot, and Plant covered the short side. Don John leading a Ranger attack with Dick Duff and Bob Nevin. And Nevin was way offside, so Don John goes back. A pass for Howell. Ron Stewart. A long pass for Poupard. And Howell gets back to cover up. Passing it behind the net. Earl Ingerfield in the corner. Ahead to Dick Duff, number 9 of the New York Rangers. To Harry Howell. Over the line. Stopped by Brewer to Dave Keon. With 12 seconds, there's one man back. Armstrong going in with him. Keon takes his shot. Plant stopped that, and Hillman missed the rebound. Don McKinney checks the Ranger player. It's finally cleared by Howell down the ice as the bell goes.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are the 3 stars of tonight's game as selected by Jack Sullivan, sports editor of the Canadian Press. First star, Ron Stewart. Second star, Camille Henry. Third star, Don McKinney, Maple Leafs.
The Leafs score 3 unanswered second period goals. Ron Stewart, Don McKinney, and Red Kelly. A scoreless third period, and the Maple Leafs win the game by a score of 5-2. You're watching Molson Canadian Maple Leaf Classics on Leafs TV. National Hockey League, in its wisdom, always seemed to have back-to-back games. And as the trade was made on February 22nd in Toronto, the very next night in New York, the two teams collide at Madison Square Garden. And Dave Keon would score a goal in the final minute of the third period, and the Leafs would win 4-3. But Andy Bathgate and Don McKinney go back to the Garden. And what was that experience like?
Well, you never know what to expect because they're very vocal in New York, and I guess finally the fellow who was in the third tier, every night he would wait till a dead silence and he would holler at me in no uncertain terms, "Oh, Bathgate, why don't you get a job?" And I guess I finally shut him up by getting out of town, but even when he used to even holler at me if I was up in the scoring and everything, so it was expected. But he had a little bit of a crowd there, and he got a little giggle every night, but it wasn't pleasant, especially on my wife, because he was a little bit harsh.
Yeah. Now, but the crowd really did give you quite an ovation.
And they really did, and I think they appreciated the effort that I did there. I didn't fight very often, which New York fans like to have it, but I think I could look after myself, and I think that's the most important thing, that you don't go looking for it, but if something happens, take care of it and move on. And they had seen me fight a few times, and they appreciated that, but my job was to try to be an offensive threat all the time, and I try to utilize all the players on the team because we didn't have a very big team, so we had to move the puck, and I think we were known for passing the puck, and I got a lot of thrills out of getting good passes or good to the players and let them put the puck in the net, because as you could see, Camille Henry was a very small player, but he could put the puck in the net, and I sort of tried to find him as often as I could.
All right. That's February 23rd, 1964. We're going to fast forward about 3 weeks later. The two teams come back to Maple Leaf Gardens and meet once again. And we're going to show you the third period of that game when we return. You're watching Molson Canadian.
Tie here as we start the final period. A quick pass to Mahovlich from Armstrong. Failed to click. Nielsen gets it out to center ice, and Tim Horton flipping it in. Knocked by Ingerfield back down the ice. Horton takes Ingerfield out. Lost it. Hetfield's shot was just off the target. And it's Kelly coming back with Mahovlich over the blue line. Kelly after it. Marshall shot it around on the boards for Hetfield. Hetfield a pass up here to Ingerfield. Up over the Leaf line. He's getting set, the shot. Bauer caught it. Gives it to Armstrong. Armstrong trying to get it out. Does. Nielsen jams him against the boards. Armstrong kicks it, and Horton just flicks it back at center. Shot right to Stanley. Stanley to Kelly. Red Kelly. Back to Horton. Horton moves up the center. Passing to Armstrong. Armstrong's long shot is wide. Plant stopping it. Giving it to Don Johns, number 6. A pass for Stewart on the right wing, who tried to intercept, but Gilbert comes down the ice, and he missed 2 body checks, one from Stanley and one from Shack. Gilbert gets it to Henry. He shot it back to the blue line. Shack clears it over to Stewart. Stewart and the Hoblets going in together. There's Stewart's shot. Plant stopped it, juggled it, lost possession of it, but cleared it over on the wing. Henry was hit by Shack. Back over for Gilbert. He passed it. Stewart lost it. It's Goyette's shot. And it was just off the target. Bob Bond. A pass for Shack. Clearing it for Stewart. It's cleared out over the blue line, and back comes Goyette. He's checked by Bond. He flicks it back into the Ranger zone. Johns after it. Gets it. Behind the goal. Shot it around on the boards for Dick Duff. Duff, a pass to Goyette. Shack bumps into him. And Duff gets in it. A face-off outside the blue line. Shack giving Dick Duff an extra shove just for good measure. And Duff was just about ready. Fulford with Stewart and Shack. Rattel with Nevin and Dick Duff. And they go to center, a pass for Duff over the blue line. Bond wrapped it off the boards, but not out. Rattel takes his shot across the goal mouth. Ingram's drive, stopped by Bond. Bond coming out with Fulford. Fulford took the pass with Ron Stewart. Fulford takes his drive, and Plant grabbed it. And he tries to scoop it and waited nearly a shade too long, but got it over to Duff. A pass for Rattel. Brewer to Stewart. Off the boards for Shack. Ingram intercepts and flicks it in offside. We've played 2 minutes and 50 seconds of the final period. It's a 3-3 tie. There's a sign up on the wall at the south end. Let's go Bob Nevin and Dick Duff. So the 2 former Leaf players have many friends in Toronto and, of course, at Maple Leaf Garden. Don McKinney over to Tim Horton with Keon and Bathgate. Horton's long shot, grabbed by Plant. Keon races after it. Ingerfield steps into Keon. Howell over for Hadfield. Hadfield to Ingram. He poked it back to the Leaf defense, and it's Stanley. Pass for Horton on the right wing. Horton into Hadfield, but Hadfield shot the puck into the Leaf zone. Stanley back to Bathgate. Andy Bathgate gets away from Ingerfield. Coming up the center. There's his long shot. That's grabbed by Plant. Shot into the corner. Bathgate is given a ride by Hadfield, and it's held there for a face-off. Face-off in the Rangers zone to the left. Ready to go from the face-off. McKinney back to Horton. The pass for Bathgate. Hit a skate and went wide. Ingram passing it off for Hadfield. McKinney breaks it up again. Back to Horton. Horton back to McKinney. McKinney closes in. There's his shot. He went after his own rebound and it goes to Hadfield. Hadfield shot it out. Stanley broke it up to McKinney. Back to Keon. Keon cutting in from the left wing. Still has it. Back to Stanley. There's his shot. Score! Let it go. It caught the left side of the net and it's 4-3. Now I heard that puck distinctly hit something. It hit a stick. Whether anybody but hit a Leaf player's stick or not, we'll wait for the official on it. But it looked like Stanley. But Jim, I thought it hit a stick. I could hear it up here.
I didn't hear it, but it might easily have deflected off something. Certainly Stanley was the one who let the shot go, and Whether someone else might have deflected into the net is hard to say.
It's back for the Rangers. They're stopped by Bond.
Leeds goal scored by number 26, Stanley.
Stanley gets it.
Assist, number 14, Keon. Number 17, McKenny. Time, 4:02.
4:02. Stanley from Keon and McKenny. It's 4-3 for the Leafs. And for Stanley, it's goal number 6. Now Kelly down the right wing for the Leafs. Over the Ranger line. And Nielsen trying to get a piece of him. Kelly draped into the boards by Bob Nevin. He's checked. Here's Kelly. And his pass was behind Mahavlich. Goes back to center. Bond bumping into Rattel. A pass by Mahavlich for Armstrong. He didn't see it. Back up the ice for Johns. He shoots into the Leaf zone. Bauer stopping it to Red Kelly. To Brewer. To Mahavlich. Over to Armstrong. Armstrong down the ice. Over the line. There's his shot, and Plant stopped it. There's nobody there for the rebound, so he shoots it out himself. Bond took a long shot. The rebound off the boards. Johns cleared it to the blue line. Stewart brings it in, and it's offside. And this game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. We have played 5 minutes and 27 seconds of the final period. Leafs 4, Rangers 3. Harry Howell. A pass to Ron Ingram, number 4, up over the blue line to center. Over the blue line for Gilbert. He was ridden off. Horton goes in after it behind the net. Shot it around on the boards for Stewart. Stewart up to Horton. Horton tried the stick handle and he was covered. Here's Rod Gilbert coming back. Checked by Stanley. Shack gets away from Goyette. Long pass for Stewart. Failed to click. Camille Henry to Goyette to Gilbert. Over the line. Stewart broke it up. Rangers get back on side. Not fast enough though. Gilbert hesitated. Shade too long on this wing, the right wing, and he was offside. So we played 6 minutes and 9 seconds of the final period. Leafs are leading 4-3. Ready to go. Puck is dropped. Here's Rod Gilbert with it. Gets around Stanley, but couldn't control it. Goes to the wing. Comes back to Ingram. There's his shot. Stanley knocked it down. Goyette swings around him. Here's Henry's shot. Howard stopped that. Stanley. A pass for Stewart went out over the blue line. Howell shoots it back in again, and the Rangers are pressing the Maple Leafs, trailing 4-3. Stanley to Horton. Up for Puffer at center. With Shack over the line at Stewart. Stewart takes the pass, right in on goal. He says he's good! Ron Stewart went right in. Makes it 5-3. Ron Stewart gets goal number 14. Toronto 5, New York Rangers 3. Bathgate to Bond. Up to Keon. He got a piece of it. Nielsen missed it going by.
Number 12,
icing.
Stewart. Assists, number 20, Fulford. And number 7, Horton. Time, 6:46.
Jacques Plante wasn't too happy with Ron Ingram on that play, Bill. Did you notice after the goal he came out of his net and he had a few words with Ingram, apparently telling him he should have covered up in the play, and I think Plante had good reason to complain.
We have a face-off in the Maple Leaf zone to the right. Goes back to Keon. Keon lost it as it went to center. Jimmy Nielsen to Val Fontaine, carrying it right back into the Leaf zone again. Bob Bond. Dave Keon. Keon gets away from two Ranger players. McKenny's on his left, Bathgate on the right. They're over the line, and it was broken up by Nielsen. Nielsen, a pass to Fontaine. Back to Richardson, over the blue line, and it's offside. They have 12 minutes and 33 seconds remaining. 5-3 for the Maple Leafs.
You certainly notice the difference when this line with Keon and Bathgate and McKenny's on the ice. They seem to take over the game.
They've been on for at least 4 of the 5 goals. It's Keon, a pass for Bathgate. Bathgate was checked by Donnie Marshall. And Fontaine picks it up, number 14. Shooting it out for Marshall. And Marshall goes back to his own blue line. A pass to Johns. Johns at center, knocked down by Bond. Fontaine gets his shot. Bauer stopping it. McKenny shot it off the boards, but not out. Richardson shot it right at Keon, and Keon grabbed it with his glove. Keon up the center with McKenny over the line together, and it's offside. And McKenny tried to cut through the defense. He took one step, and it's amazing how this McKenny on the left wing catches up to Keon as they get to the blue line, and Keon is really moving. I think he's added a lot of speed to Keon in the latter part of the schedule.
You would think so.
Goes back to Bond. Bond takes a long shot, bounces wide. It came right in front of the net. Here's a chance for McKenny. McKenny closes in, passed it right for Bathgate, and Plante lost it to Bathgate, to Keon. Keon back for Bathgate. Bathgate over to Bond. There's his shot, right on. Ingram lost it to Bathgate. Shot.
Off tonight's game, there doesn't seem to be much doubt who got the best of that trade. It certainly looks like the Leafs, doesn't it?
That's goal number 19 for Andy Bathgate. And they now lead 6-3. Kelly back. Here he gives to Stanley. Stanley leading a 3-man rush. Pass from Mahabali. Back for Stanley right in.
Bathgate. Assists 21 Bond and 14 Keon. Time 8:25.
8:25. The Leafs all around the net. Kelly's shot hit a leg. Hit Howell, and that may have hurt.
And Don McKenny have scored against their former teammates as the Maple Leafs have taken a 6-3 lead over the New York Rangers on this game back on March 14th, 1964. Andy, you mentioned that you were an offensive player and you weren't an overly physical player, but the game has evolved because of a number of things, and sometimes it takes a player to stand up and say that something is wrong. Now, after you'd won the Most Valuable Player Award, I think it was, around 59-60, an incident in New York prompted you to write an article in Sport magazine about spearing and what had almost cost the life of a teammate.
Well, it happened right in front of our bench, and Doug Harvey speared Red Sullivan, and Red was very lucky, had a ruptured spleen, and they thought they had lost him by the time he got to the hospital. And I thought that something has to be done because it was coming very prevalent. The deal was when you come down the ice with the puck, you deke a defenseman, drop it, and then run into him. And the defensemen were all starting to spear the fellow who was sort of shielding him. And it was getting more pronounced all the time, and I just thought, after seeing what happened to Sully, and Doug Harvey had told Sullivan, don't do that anymore, I'm going to fix you. And he did, and it almost cost him his life. But and I thought, it has to come from somebody who's near the top of the scoring. There'll be no publicity or that on it. And I didn't think it would be as serious as it was, but it come out, and Mr. Campbell called me in and fined me $1,000, and that was
for writing the article.
That was a lot of money in those days.
It's a lot of money now. Never mind those days.
And he said that I should have had it looked at before, and I never did see the copy before, and Mus Patrick was supposed to do that. He was also fined. for not checking. And it was written by Dave Anderson, who was a quality writer, still is in New York. But I think it was important at that time to speak up because somebody was seriously going to get hurt.
It did have an effect because the rule was changed.
The rule was changed at the end of the year. It was automatic suspension plus a fine, and I think that's the only way that you're going to smarten the players up by hitting them in the pocketbook. But Mr. Campbell took all the fun out of it.
For you.
And he still got
Did you get your money back?
Never got it back, but still.
Mr. Bettman, you owe this gentleman $1,000 plus interest since 1959-60.
Well,
maybe you could take me out for dinner if we get it.
You're on.
All right. Andy Bathgate trying to do more than just play in this league, but maybe develop it a little bit, and that goes back to 59-60. Right now he has scored a goal, and the Leafs lead by a score of 6-3. Let's go back to the action.
It's Johns, number 6. A pass to Nielsen. A pass for Henry. It's flicked in. Hadfield goes after it into the Leaf zone. Here's Goyette standing right in front of the net. Armstrong shooting it out on the right wing. A long pass to the blue line, to center ice. Armstrong has it headed back to him. Here's Kelly getting in, and he's checked by Goyette. And back come the Rangers. Goyette at center, over the line. Martin fell, but got it out to center ice. Johns back in for the Rangers into the Leaf zone. Stanley chopped at it, and it's Kelly. Pass ahead for Mahavlich, went by Johns, and Nielsen lets it go right to Plot. Plot gives it to Jimmy Nielsen. Coming up to his own blue line, Mahavlich trying to spin him around. Nielsen checked by Bond, but gets it over the line, and it's Brewer going back. 10 minutes exactly remaining in the game. 6-3 for the Maple Leafs. Pass to Armstrong for Mahavlich, and he was checked. Kelly trying to control it. Gets down the left wing. Tried to get by Johns, who checked him. A pass to Goyette. Stewart breaks it up. Ron Stewart flicking it out. And it didn't get the referee. Now it's Stewart. A pass for Shack. He's in the clear. Right in on goal. He sees the score! Eddie Shack went all the way. Ron Stewart put him in the clear, and he went flying in there a mile a minute.
Leafs goal scored by number 23, Shack. Assist. The assist, number 12, Stewart. Time, 10:30.
10:30, Shack from Stewart. Back into the Leaf zone for Bond, number 21. Over on the wing, Stewart was given a heavy elbow. There's going to be a penalty here to the Rangers. Shack centered it out in front. Richardson gets a hold of it. And there will be a penalty there to Richardson for elbowing.
Bill, Eddie Shack appears to be getting pretty clever in his old age. On that play, he looked like a real smoothie. That's the way Andy Bathgate would have scored. But Eddie doesn't do that too often. He usually shoots the puck, but he played it beautifully.
Yes, he certainly freed Jacques Plante. Now Montreal Canadiens have scored to make it 3-2. And the scoring play was Ferguson from Backstrom and J.C. Tremblay at 4:45 of the third period. So it's Montreal 3, Chicago 2. Now it's Nevin and Duff, with Dave Richardson getting set to return in a second. There's a shot. Bauer had to stop it. Fulford. A pass for Ron Stewart. He lost his stick. Down for Tim Horton. To Bob Pulford. Pulford shot one, and that was just wide, as Plante seemed to move the wrong way. Long pass into the corner. Eddie Shack keeping it in. Stewart. Watched by Johns. It's against the boards. Nevin trying to get it loose. Stewart does for a second, then decides to hold it. We can't see, of course, the puck as it's right against the boards. Go by the actions of the two players. 6 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in the game. 7-3 for the Maple Leafs. It was 3-2 Leafs at the end of the first, 3-3 at the end of the second, and the Leafs have exploded for 4 unanswered goals in this final period so far. Hofford gets the draw, and here comes Dick Duff, number 9 for the Rangers. Over the blue line. Trying to cut in, centered it in front, and Stanley cleared it off to the wing. Nevin after it. Centered it right in front of the net. Stewart. He's checked, gets it again, has it in the corner. Starts out in the right wing, a pass for Eddie Shack, and it went right through his legs. He did a little twist on the ice, and they're offside at the blue line. Now, whether that had anything to do with their offside or not, I notice every once in a while the players take a peek at Shack as he puts on a skating demonstration. 6 minutes and 11 seconds remaining. Back to Howell. Howell a pass to Rattel. Here's a chance for Howell. He's closing in with Duff, and Duff just failed to get it. It was off the skate. Howell behind the net. Centering it for Duff, and Horton leaned to stop that. Comes back to McMahon. It's stopped by Pulford. Pulford, a long pass for Stewart. He's in the clear, and it's offside. Just inside the blue line.
And the Rangers are sending over the boards now, Bill. Camille Henry, who must have one of the most amazing records in the league. He has 28 goals, and yet I imagine in ice time he doesn't even come close to the other big scorers like Bobby Hull or Nikita and so on.
Bond, a pass for Mahavlich is going down the ice, and over the red line it'll be called for icing again. I believe he has a pretty fair record over a period of time, too.
Well,
hasn't he, Jim?
last year the only player that scored more goals in the National League than Henry was Gordie Howe. Gordie had 38, Camille had 37, and I figured out a few minutes ago the past 3 seasons he's averaged 29 goals. And there aren't very many players in the National League that have averaged that many.
Definitely an outstanding record.
For a player who doesn't weigh 150 pounds.
Face-off in the Maple Leafs zone to the right. 7-3 for the Leafs. Cleared off the boards, but not out. Here's Henry trying to get it loose. Nielsen's shot goes right to Bond. Nielsen was knocked down by Mahavlich, who stepped into him. A pass off the boards goes back to Nielsen again. Over here in the right wing to Johns. A pass over the blue line. Papin knocked it out. Over the blue line for Dave Richardson for the Rangers. He's bumped by Brewer. Kelly to Mahavlich. A pass for Papin failed to click. The puck is loose, and Goyette hands it right to Kelly. Offside as he came in, and Mahavlich was trying to get out. 5 minutes, 5 seconds left in the game. And this game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. Face-off. Johns bringing it out on the left wing. Bond ran into him. The linesman nearly went up into the Blues. And Bond returns for the Leafs. A long pass over here to Kelly. Kelly to Mahavlich over the line. He couldn't control it. Back to him. And it was behind him. Kelly had the puck. He didn't know it. Nielsen shoots it around on the boards. Hadfield brings it back over the line. And it's knocked to Mahavlich. Mike Mahavlich at center. Over the Ranger line. And it's offside. Face-off will be outside the blue line. Martin shoots the puck into the Ranger zone. Cleared around on the board. Stanley keeps it in for the Leafs to McKinney. His shot rolled right on the net. Howell. Past Ingram. A long shot. Bathgate back for it. Hatfield tried to check him. Bathgate to McKinney. Up to Keon. He's up along. Tried to go through, and he was too well covered. Cleared behind the net. Howell shot it over on the left wing to Hatfield. Hatfield, a pass stopped by Horton. Bathgate took Hatfield into the boards. Howell shoots it over here to Ingram. Ingram shoots it back at center. Somebody blew a whistle in the crowd, but play goes right on. Here's Ingerfield's shot. Bauer stopped it, and Horton picks it up. Horton, a long pass to Keon. Keon, Bathgate, and McKinney going over the line. They're closing in together. A pass to Keon. He shot it right on. Bathgate is ridden off by Ingerfield. Howell shoots it along the boards for Hatfield. Hatfield just shoots it down the ice. Bauer had to stop it. Alan Stanley at the blue line. A pass to Eddie Shack over the Ranger line. Passing it to Stanley. Stanley closing in. A pass right in front of the net. Nielsen is checked. It's to Pulford, to Stewart, and he's knocked down from behind by Nevin. Nevin comes down the ice with Duff over the blue line. Here's the shot wide. Johns shot it around to the other wing. Nevin hit by Stewart, who gave him an elbow. There's going to be a penalty here. That's Stewart for elbowing. Face-off will be in the lead zone with 2 minutes and 25 seconds left. 7-3 in favor of the Maple Leafs. Now it's Montreal 4, Chicago 2.
Number 12.
Montreal 4, Chicago 2.
Time 17:35.
Face-off is in Leaf territory. Shack going off the ice. And hit Bond. Bond gets a hold of it and flicks it down the ice. Nielsen goes back, number 15. 2 minutes and 12 seconds. Bob Nevin at his own blue line to center. Over the line at Rattel, put him well offside. Goes back to Bond, and Bond shoots the puck down the ice. Going right on Plot, and Mike McMahon coming down the ice to his own blue line. A pass to Duff, rolls through the Leaf defense. Carl Brewer back, cleared it to Hillman. Hillman shoots it to the blue line, but not out. He ran at Nielsen. Then he runs into Rattel. Dick Duff keeps it in for the Rangers. Back to Mike McMahon. To Nevin. Pulford tried to check him. Brewer lost it. Rattel after it. Bond stepped into Rattel. Pulford missed a check from Dick Duff. And Duff runs into Pulford again. And Bond shoots it down the ice. 1 minute and 12 seconds left in the game. 7-3 for the Maple Leafs. Down the ice for Nielsen. Over the blue line. Bob Pulford breaks it up. Into the corner.
Last
shoots it down the ice.
In the game.
Less than a minute to go in the game. Mike McMahon. Over to Goyette. Over the blue line for Henry. Henry closing in, passed it right in front. There's a shot, and it was stopped. And back goes Pulford with Mahavlich. Over the line. Passed it across the goal mouth, and it went over to the far wing. 28 seconds remaining. Brewer over the blue line with it to center. Goyette passes over to Henry. He gets in over the blue line. Now then Stewart is back on the ice. Stewart intercepts the pass and goes down the right wing. Over the line with Mahavlich. There's the shot. Mahavlich the rebound. And Pulford the rebound, but he went too far. Pulford trying to center it. Howell with it. Shot it around on the boards. 1 second, and there goes the bell. The game is over.
Ladies and gentlemen, Here are the 3 stars of tonight's game as selected by Jim Hunt, sports editor of the Star Weekly. The first star, Dave Keon. Second star, Don McKenney. Third star, Alan Stanley.
Leafs win by a score of 7-3 on March 14th, 1964. You're watching Southgate. The Maple Leafs win this game 7-3 in March of 1964, and in April of this year, Andy Bathgate scores the biggest goal in his career, the opening goal in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final against the Detroit Red Wings, as the Leafs went on to win that game 4-0 and win the Stanley Cup in a crowning moment. A difficult year, difficult transition, and that goal probably made it all worthwhile.
It certainly did, and it's sort of highlighted my career, and I got to be thankful that it worked out that way, because it was the only one I did take part in, and to score a decent goal was very